Okay, so we're rocking. And why won't that do something? That's doing something. And we're up.
Let's wait and see if we're up.
No, we're up. They're already talking about audio problems and not to say anything because it gets us. But I think we're fine. We got a green light here that Terry said, and there you go. How about that? So Diane just said to me, "Are those guns unloaded?" And I went, "No, they're all loaded." No. Somebody wants to know about my pistols and stuff. Manchu. You're up. No sound issues. Manchu. It's good it's not Minchu, because I'll tell you about this guy. We had a guy on my first ship named Minchu, and he was half Chinese, half American, and he ratted. I won't even tell you what that was about, but he ratted me and my buddy Wally Warner out. He got us in all kinds of trouble, and we decided to take care of Minchu, so we took a shackle off a ship, a big metal that you screw in, and we put that thing in a vise and screwed that down so that thing would fit in my fist, and we beat the shit out of that guy.
I hope that ain't him.
No, it's not him.
I hope not.
And the problem was my buddy was on sentry duty. He was an ASROC sentry, like I was. And he had a gun that he was carrying. And all he did, I just worked the guy over. And we both got put back on the regular watches. I beat the shit out of that guy. Anyhow, Minchu. I remember he flipped me off the day he was leaving the ship. He went down there and he looked back at the ship and he just went like that to me. And I was like, yeah, good for you. See you later. So, I guess we're talking about pistols.
I guess we are.
They're all loaded, so hang on.
Better not piss me off.
What's my favorite one to carry? I'll get to that. But this is the original pistol my dad bought me for trapping. Trapping foxes and raccoons and all that stuff. I don't know how many things I've dealt with this, but it's a 22 Harrison Richardson. It's just a wheel gun, and a wheel gun is one of the finest, most reliable guns you'll ever get. We used to swim with wheel guns, 357s, because you really can't jam them up when you get into semi-automatic or the slides and everything. But in the sand, in the water, we would swim with 357s.
When you see a gun that's got duct tape on it, you know it's seen a few days.
Well, I'm just trying to hide my fingerprints on this thing. So yeah, be careful, that one's loaded. And what do I really like? I like all kinds of stuff, but this was a Czechoslovakian 380. And a 380 is a little mini. Whoops.
That's wonderful.
There you go. We'll roll over that tonight. It's a little mini 9mm. And this is a Czechoslovakian police pistol. And I really like it. You'd be lucky to hit the side of a barn with this thing. But I was given that, and I really like that gun just for its looks. Beautiful. And this is a 25 Beretta, and that was captured in Iraq. It was and a little 25. It's kind of a harmless little bullet until it comes right up behind the back of your ear, and I really like that. It's a little Beretta.
That's what Master Chief Davis loves, right?
No,
that's not it.
No. A little 25 Beretta. What I really like, if you're talking about carrying, is that, and that's what Herschel loves, and I really love. And this is just your last ditch one shot at a time thing that comes out, and that is a little 25 Hornet, and it's a little badass gun. Let me get this thing back so I don't rack you with it, but a little 25, and there it goes. And that is a sweet little pocket carrier, and that'll melt your melon right there. So as push comes to shove and you only need a few shots, this thing snaps right into your pocket and just folds down. It's a really sweet gun. I've got a lot of these from the courses. That's a Glock 15. When you need to really get it done, the new Glock 19, 9mm. And then Diane's baby, right there, little laser sighting on there. It's
with a Heckler and Koch laser.
That's right. It's a hammerless. It can't get caught up in your pocket. And I always tell the ladies or guys, you know, I want my wife to be protected. Right there. That's what you need, a wheel gun. You can't do it with 5 shots, but you're not going to get that hung up in your pocket. All you have to do is pull the trigger, and it's going to go off. And I used to tell Diane when I was gone, if you wake up and hear some shit going on in the house or there's somebody in there, just take one of these and shoot it into the floor. Don't shoot it through the ceiling. Shoot it through the floor, and most guys are just going to be gone at the mere sound of that gun going off.
Show them the laser. Show the girls the laser.
I got to replace the battery in it. But it's got hollow points in it too. So dump one on the floor. Don't shoot it through the roof. If somebody's in your house, let that go. And anybody that would keep coming after they know you have a weapon like that in there, but nothing to get hung up on. It's a reliable gun. Just pull the trigger. There's no safety. There's no thinking about it. Just pick this thing up and whap one off into the floor.
I never went anywhere without my gun. When we lived in Virginia, I had my concealed carry. I even went to a gun shop and bought a concealed carry purse that was pretty, real leather, but I just felt good. And then we can't do concealed carry here in Maryland, so of course we don't carry.
Of course we don't.
Because that would be illegal.
Of course we don't.
But I sure felt a lot better in Virginia having that.
There you go. 45 and there you go. I got guns all over the place here, but I'm not a gun nut. I just have enough guns to. You want to invite me to shoot an elk or an elephant, buffalo? I'm set. Other than that, and speaking about that. Speaking about guns, here's the dilemma here with Cripple. Go ahead, Cripple.
I'm the cripple, I guess. I had a girlfriend come in from out of town, and she has some issues as well, and she knows how bad my knee is. And she brought me this cream. It's THC cream. What is it, CD something, it tells you right here. The CBD oil, THC 53.2. I rubbed this stuff on my knee, and I can't tell you a difference that it made. And I mean in 10 or 15 minutes. And I've tried everything. Chuck has tried everything. Red Man on here's tried everything. And I'm telling you, this little bit of cream right here with THC in it is miracle stuff. It's got some menthol or something in it, so it sort of starts heating up and warming up when you put it on there. And she also brought me a little gummy, just a little square gummy, all legal. She has a prescription for it. And because she has pain when she's trying to go to sleep at night, laying down in the bed with her legs and stuff, they gave her those to take at bedtime. And she let me try one. And again, it was miracle stuff. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, right.
On the pot. You're taking the pot.
I don't wanna smoke pot. I've done that back in the day, many, many years ago. But I just want some relief. And so I decided it's legal here. You can get a prescription for it here in Maryland. So I checked into it and I...
Puff Puff Pass. Online says Puff Puff Pass.
All right now, damn it. I'm being serious.
There you go.
I'm being serious, Puff Puff Pass. So I called to make me an appointment to go down and see if I could get me some of this cream. And I got me an appointment, and then I came back and I got online and I started reading stuff. And it was saying something about in the state of Maryland, you have to either choose between your gums or CBD oil. Well, I'm not going to do that. I mean, we're a hunting charity. I got guns all over the place. And so then someone corrected me and said, oh no, they're not going to take your guns if you have medicinal marijuana prescription. It's just if you commit a felony. So Don sort of put his foot down and said, oh hell no, you're not going to do that. We're a charity. We ain't getting involved in all that shit. You got to register somewhere. Well, I want to. I want to register. I want me some of this cream. I want me some of them gummies. I don't want a big dime bag or nothing to smoke.
Dime bag? What's that?
I've heard of it somewhere. I just want some freaking cream for my knee. And now I am a dilemma, and I don't know what to do.
They're just after veterans. And whatever
That's what infantryman uses is the gummies.
You know,
That's what I'm saying.
Infantryman is not allowed to own weapons. They'll confiscate them.
Bullshit.
Going on a registry, like putting your DNA out there. We can talk about that, too.
Bullshit.
And they are just after veterans. I don't know where all this nightmare shit come from, but I don't want them coming here to confiscate my guns because of your cream and gummies. I don't know what they do with that. They register you, and you're a nut. You're a veteran with...
I'm not a nut.
Depression.
Look at my hand. I can't even feel on here. I've got arthritis. That's as flat as my hand will go. I have arthritis in my knee. I'm bone on bone. I'm in terrible pain.
They don't care about
And that's why I want this.
And they're only looking at the records and going, yeah, she's a veteran. She's got some psychological problems or something. It's coming back on me. So I'm sorry. What do we, corn silk? You can go smoke corn silk.
Hey, Bosun, you're over there in Japan. You're always sending cool shit. Send me some of this oil. I'm sure you got some of that in Japan.
Oh, those Japanese get away with murder.
They do. I need me some pot cream. That's what I need.
Yeah. Send me some of those, you drop a couple of $100 in the thing and they send you a can of soiled underwear. I remember those.
What's that say? Sadly on the federal what? CBDs are still illegal. Well, they're not. It's not illegal here in Maryland.
Yep. There we go. We just threw it all out there. You're illegally taking this stuff.
I'm not illegally taking it.
Well, you just admitted you took it.
Well, I took it once.
That doesn't matter. Penetration, however slight.
Oh, what do you mean Japan? Sitting else says no. Prison time for a small amount of pot in Japan.
The Mahdi-sans. Terrible. Terrible over there.
Okay, the name of this cream. There's two different kinds. This one's called Mary's Medicinals. And CBD 58.0 milligrams. THC 53.2 milligrams. It works. I hope you get your wife some.
You're going to be on the needle soon.
I'm going to have my own supply. I'm going to go down there next week and get me a big old marijuana.
What do they call that? The bridge drug?
The what?
Isn't it the bridge?
The bridge to worse things?
Yeah.
That's what my mama used to say. She's like, see, we were back in the hippie day. Peace, love, all that shit. And my mama said, I'll tell you right now, if y'all start smoking that shit, you might never come down. You might have a bad trip and never come down. That's what she told us. Forever.
The only thing getting smoked around here is a goose or a duck. That's it. So no, I get that. I hear some of these horror stories about these veterans going in there and telling people they suffer from depression or PTSD, and then you're going in the registry, so you're not shooting up bell towers and stuff like that.
Well, that sucks. Well, infantryman's on it, and he is a disabled veteran, and if they would get up some veteran's ass for this stuff, then this world's really got some problems, because I don't know what happened if we're good. But it works, and I mean, these guys are right up, I think about Slade, you know, with all those neck surgeries and stuff. If he could rub a little bit of that on his neck and get some relief.
I could see infantryman on the evening news one night.
That's why you don't drink, because you are rubbed down with THC cream all over you.
Something. He could go.
All he drinks is green tea.
He could go nutty.
It's because you're already buzzed.
Psychotic, and just start walking around malls and stuff.
When he comes down with the boys next time, we're going to have to root through his bag and get all his high potent cream.
No, I did the last time he was down here. I found it all. All right, so where are we at? What's going on here? I'm going to enlarge this a little bit.
I don't know. We're both blind.
No, we're all right.
We have been working our ice off this week. We finally had some pretty days, and I don't know if you all do it or if we just do it, but...
What's going on with this damn mouse? Where is that thing? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
No, it's screwing up. Go ahead.
I don't think we do it so bad in the summertime, but over the winter with all the guys and the hunting and we just sort of throw shit places, you know, and all of the sheds, the barn, the mudroom, everything, and we've been working all weekend trying to just get our shit together, ready for the boys start coming in next week. And he's worked all day long in that garage and just hauled off and thrown shit. And I've been doing it in here as well. But boy, we needed this weekend, didn't we, to work? We missed you guys. Sorry we haven't been on here for a couple of days, but we just had to suck it up and get it done.
Warrior and the other dogs are outside. They're going to come around here sooner or later and start barking, wanting to be let in. But it's a beautiful day. We had all the windows open, so I'll do my best to get Warrior on here. But his looks haven't changed. He's loving this weather. They all are. It's beautiful outside. No, I don't know who. Phony Navy vet. Caught line. Who is that guy? I know that. I should know that guy.
That Joseph guy?
Yeah. I think I know who you guys are talking about. You're still crab hunting? Yes, they are crab hunting. There's a couple still in the mud out there that they're desperately trying to get. And Life's Drag wants to know how your pull is.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. The pull company that I used has terrible reviews. It's just the only people I can get around here. They did a bang-up job. They showed up on time. They pumped that water out. They put that thing in. They filled it back up. They've been back twice after they've done it to just sort of tweak everything and make sure it's good. I was impressed. All I need now is some warm days so that these kids can get in that pool. But weren't you impressed with them? They did a real good job.
I bribed them, too. I make it worth your while to come out and suck it up. But they brought... I was so aggravated with that whole thing because I got these, and here I go on my turkey and goose and duck spiel. There were more vehicles rolling in here, just the constant flow of these things. They brought in four tanker trucks of water. And I don't know if you're thinking like a dump truck or something, a tanker truck. These are 18-wheelers. How they got up here, one of them couldn't get up. And transferring that water into that pool. And I'm just sitting here going, oh my God. And they're in and out. And then we just had that work done in there in the living room. And that guy coming in and out and in and out for what was supposed to be 3 days took 7. And then, of course, Eddie coming in and out. And the trash guy coming in and out. It's just, I don't know how there's any living creatures on this property, wild animal wise, but I guess they get used to it. It's driving me absolutely batshit. So should I tell them about the new crops? Since we're on about batshit.
The pot crops?
It's the first time you've heard it.
I've not heard it.
When you come up my driveway anymore, you are going to see nothing. You're going to be in like a tunnel. And I'm getting ready to start doing it. Egyptian wheat, 10 feet tall. And I completely block this off. If they hear your vehicle going down the driveway, it doesn't bother them nearly as much as seeing it. And that's what we're doing. You're going to drive through a tunnel getting up here. And that's getting ready to start going. So she won't like it, but it's going to work well for the birds.
No, I'm reading Herding Chickens. I'm reading that.
Herding Chickens is just the name. Electric.
Scroll down.
This is Breaking Bad. Egyptian wheat. Yep. Herding Electric Chickens has a few things to say. He's on beeswax mango now. Good God. He's going nuts.
He is.
She's paying attention to it. This is Breaking Bad, Egyptian wheat. No, Egyptian wheat, for a lot of reasons. The deer aren't going to eat it. The birds aren't going to jump on the top of that sorghum and do it. But people use it as a blocking thing to block things in. It grows like 10 feet tall. And when they see those vehicles coming down, this is the year. This is the year. It's our third year, and I have watched closely, and this is it. And we've already started. I already started draining one of the impounds today. This is getting ready to go up. And I have just been so careful, just so patient, just little step by little step. But this is it.
Why is there no Walking Dead tonight, Prime Beef? Oh, we have to. That's our only thing we look forward to on Sunday. I never heard that.
Looks like we'll have to break out the magic lotion.
I'll rub you down with some of my THC cream. That'll fix you.
Looks like it's bubble night around here.
Yeah.
Some cheap wine and a couple of fuck books.
Hey, Don! What in the hell is the matter with you?
Bubble night here.
I am 60 years old. You're embarrassing me. Stop that.
I don't know why Walking Dead. Jesse Smollett isn't on that show, so why would they start canceling it?
I don't know why they would not have it on.
They're going to bring that clown back. You watch. Mark
Because
my words.
he's one of the biggest stars on there. And yes, I saw Yosemite said build that wall. Hell yeah, build that wall. I've been looking at that stuff on TV and on the internet of them just absolutely. And we lived in San Diego. Actually, we lived in that little place down from Coronado, Imperial Beach. And I've been to Tijuana several times in my life. And Tijuana ain't the safest place in the world, but it sure is fun. And if you've got people in Tijuana that's scared to death from those people trying to come over that border, then you know it's bad. And I don't know why anybody, no matter what your Republican, Democrat, or anything, I don't know why anybody would not listen to our Homeland Security. That's why they're there. They're going to tell us when we are in danger, and they are just warning us and warning us that we're in trouble. We are in trouble. I don't know why anybody would vote to not build that wall, but that's me.
We're a country of immigrants. And we're full up. That sucks, but, you know, like this.
I don't know if anybody...
I don't know what the hell is going on. We can't. You imagine if we just open those borders and let every person in South America come up here? What would we would look like them?
I'm going to tell you a perfect example is a...
I believe in immigration, but goddamn, gone it. You know, when it's illegal, it's illegal. I'm a kind of a black and white guy. It's illegal immigration, and I don't owe you a damn thing.
we have a couple of Iraqi friends. One of them is called the Terrorist Whisperer, and the other one is called Johnny Walker. They were both from Iraq, and they worked very closely with the military and saved a lot of American lives. I mean, the SEAL team just talks about Johnny Walker like he is a SEAL himself. They respect him. They love him. And when the guys got pulled out, they got Johnny Walker over here, and he has studied and worked, and he became a United States citizen last week. Now, if you're going to come from Iraq and all of that, the terrorists, and you're going to do it the right way, come here, become a citizen of the United States, and follow. That's the way it's done. That is the way it's supposed to be done, and he did it, and I just think that's wonderful. It was a big deal for the SEAL team, for the SEAL team community, and so if you guys don't know who he is, Google Johnny Walker. They're actually making a movie about him as we speak. And the other one, I can't say his name. We went up to bust that phony, not Jasmine. I'm getting it wrong. He is the Terrorist Whisperer. He has a book out that's done very well, and he did the same thing. Married an American, has children. Not supposed to be that way.
He married an American woman, white girl, and that was the part that kicked me. You get on here and look at the Terrorist Whisperer, the phony that we busted with him. The thing that kicked me off, what a great guy he is. But we had breakfast together, and his wife was sucking down bacon as fast as she could.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was watching him the whole time, and he wasn't batting an eye. Now, he wouldn't eat it.
But he didn't care if she did. I've got to let her in.
He was sure going to kiss her at some point after her chowing down that bacon. I just thought that would... Yeah, see, Michonne, they all know that door isn't receptive. They're going to come through here, so... There he is. There's the big guy. There's Coda. Everybody's happy. Oh, here's Coda, buddy. He's already up. He's very excited about everything. Very excited.
Warriors.
Oh, God.
Warrior.
Bring him into view.
Come in. Can you walk in here? Oh, he's a big guy.
Oh, they've been so abused today out in this beautiful weather. And we walked away from them for 30 minutes, and everybody's going nutty around here.
Okay. That's enough slobber.
Right. Get out of here, you big wiener licker.
Oh, hot breath.
Yep. What do we have here?
I'm lost.
There you go. Canine lover wanted to see that. I've been using your 20 gauge pump. I've been shooting starlings down at the barn. I haven't wanted to fire. I've been not wanting to fire a single shot, but those starlings are absolutely there. Starling might as well be a woodpecker, because if he can't get in a hole or a crack somewhere, he's going to gnaw one out and just start nailing that barn down there. They're absolutely terrible. So I just sit down there with a couple of beers and shoot starlings as they try to fly in that barn. I don't know if anybody knows what the hell we're talking about. When we moved here and had the home inspection, the barn was part of it because it's an apartment. And the home inspector went up in the loft of the barn over the apartment. And he came right back down. He goes, I don't know what's up there, but I'm not going up there. And so they got a pest control guy down here. And he removed it's at the Smithsonian Institute, if that gives you any idea, the largest starling nest that he'd ever seen. It just looked like a mound of... It's at the Smithsonian. And they're doing it again. It's huge. It's a colony thing down there. And they mean to get in that barn. They've been probably roosting in that barn, their families, since that barn went up, I don't know, 100 years ago. And they mean to get back in there. So I just got to shoot them out of there. There's no way around it.
Oh, he said that season 10's over.
For what?
Walking Dead.
What happened last week?
I didn't think it was anything too bad. You fell asleep. Quit looking at me.
Probably did.
I didn't know that it was Chris Kyle's birthday. I know that we were, everybody was celebrating him a week ago or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sorry if that was the anniversary of his death or what. But absolutely, today is Chris Kyle's birthday. Shout out to Kayla and the kids for sure.
A lot of speculation what happened out there, but the big inside thing was Chris realized real quick that dude was not a Marine Corps sniper and called him out. I can see that happening. I mean, how long would it take Chris to figure out that you are not a sniper when they got out in the range? You are not a Marine Corps sniper. You don't have any. He wasn't. So, but that's why he got out there. He was a Marine Corps sniper that served in Iraq, and no, that wasn't the case.
Well, if you noticed in the movie, and I know it was a movie, but when the Marine came outside Chris's house to get in the truck and go, there's a moment of pause where the actress playing Kayla looked at that guy and then looked again. You know, didn't look like any Marine she'd ever seen. Just his stance and everything didn't look right. And Kayla has said that as well. That just didn't look right. So people think that that's what happened. We'll never know. But
so what else we got going on? It seems chilling. Site admin. There's Terry. There's another guy that somebody needs to have a good look at that green card.
That's right.
I don't know if Terry is an actual citizen or not.
Yeah, he's a citizen. Terry's a citizen.
You better not get on that pot anytime too soon. That'll wreck that stuff. They'll be shipping your ass back to England. So Terry's coming up here. Mad Dog's bringing his grandson up here for the adult turkey hunt on the 18th of April. And I got to produce. And then Terry's out there. And Terry's coming up a day later, and we're going to put him and Mad Dog in a blind together. And I'll take the grandson because that's just peaceful. There, I would not want to be around those two. They're too. Certainly, if there's any coffee involved in that morning, I don't want to be anywhere near those two. So they'll be about 25 yards away from us, and hopefully they'll stay real quiet.
Yosemite, yes, they actually do pound the tridents into the coffins. They do that. And happy birthday, Edzo. I didn't know it was your birthday. How young are you? A young man. When did that, they've not always done that where they pounded the tridents into the...
That happened.
But they do it now all the time.
That happened. That started with the SEAL that jumped on a grenade. I'm struggling with it now. And they did that Rosecrans cemetery there. And one guy got up and did it, and the rest followed. And then Special Forces guys were ripping the tabs off there that were in there. But that had never been a tradition until then. And now it is. So, no.
That's a very cool tradition, too.
And how many phonies I get? I got one the other day. I'm about to... Well, I'm going to get on a roll here in a minute about what's been going on around here in the world of phonies. I'll just start by saying, if you guys go back through and look at the phony SEAL videos, the one I did about the one-eyed fat man, he's back on the radar. He was fired from his job. I could never get that guy on the phone. He was fired for watching pornography on his computer at that thing, and he's at a new six-figure security job. And one of his co-workers went, I can't believe that he's got him, and he's going to help me. And that dude was never a SEAL. The one-eyed fat man phony is back on the radar. And another one with Eddie Gallagher that I'm all over. This, I wish I'd have printed out a picture of this guy. He got on a... guys were defending Eddie Gallagher in this forum. And he got on there, put pictures of himself up there, and said that Gallagher needs to stay where he is. He's a war criminal, and he couldn't follow the rules of engagement. He got what he wanted. And this guy goes on a roll about his time in SEAL Team 2, being a platoon leader of SEAL Team 2 Bravo. And he had the finest set of dress whites I'd ever seen. His awards were in such the correct order precedence. These are medals, Bronze Stars, Purple Hearts, all this shit. And that fucking clown, no. But he had a lot of people convinced on there. And I don't know why he would do something like that. Outside of dragging attention to himself, it's a real problem. But I'm after both of those guys, and the one-eyed fat man I've got this time. You are boxed in, dude. And he is at these, both of them were extraordinarily high. He is the head of security in Colorado at these major utility companies. And these fucking guys spare no expense. I mean, they are armed. They have this insane security there, and he is running it, and they all think he's an asshole because of the way he treats them. And the guy told me that 98% of the guys that work for him are combat veterans. The sad thing that I did not know the last time, and I'm getting his records, but I found out, we got a picture of him, he was a chief petty officer in the United States Navy.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yes, it is. And I don't know where this phenomenon comes from. It's like that Michael Harville that I got, the charity guy that did that. What a great career as a chief petty officer, and then he just drops off the whatever. You know, that wasn't good enough, and this guy obviously did that to get that job. And I'll just finish with this, you know. Getting the job, this is a six-figure job in today's terrorist world that he is not qualified to do. He is not qualified to be the head of security for this intensely sensitive site, let alone lead these guys. You've done nothing for that except lie to them about being a SEAL, and it's a problem, and I'm going to fucking lob your head off, dude.
God, you wanted to know why people don't vet them. You know, Don has said this over and over. I think that the biggest majority of the people are trusting. The biggest majority of the people are not liars themselves. So when the boss man is sitting there at the desk and you walk in looking the part and you can show him your DD 214 and all your awards and all that stuff, it looks legit. You know, that's where fighting the stolen valor comes in. Is just to get. Are we ever going to get rid of them? No, but the point was to get the word out there. So if you are the CEO of a company, if you do have this security firm, that you know there's somewhere that you can go and call to make sure that all that big service record is correct. But there's just some people that are really good that can walk in and sit in that big chair and just talk that bullshit. Everything that the guy is asking you, you have a paper for it. You have an award for it. You've got your shit together. And that's why they get away with it.
And they did it for years, and I'm going to get back to my AW buddy on here, Zimmerman. And he produced a great photo of Zimmerman and his air squadron as a chief petty officer. That guy got out, retired as what we believe to be a CWO2, a chief warrant officer. And he's running around dressed up like a commander. I mean, I don't get it, but there was this thing that went on. I'm going to be surprised if this one-eyed fat man did not go to Bud's training when he was a whole lot later. For years, they would put on your DD 214, it would say Bud's in dock, whatever. They would put that on, and if you didn't know what you were reading, they don't do it anymore. You would go, oh fuck, it says right here, SEAL training. It said SEAL training, Bud's training, shit like that. They don't do that anymore. And that would go on your DD-214. You didn't make it through the training, so why mention the fact that you spent a couple of months at Harvard in medical school and got thrown out for using marijuana cream?
Kiss my ass, Greg.
I don't know.
Greg said like the guy on the bar in Ocean City.
Yeah. They are good, and they perfect these gifts of gab. This guy has got 2 of those jobs, the one-eyed fat man, high security things, and I saw a picture of him on his Facebook. We found that where it does look like he was on one of those security teams in the Navy. When I used to teach this shit, and I would teach it to Spec War, and I'd also teach it to the Marines. That was Visit, Board, Search, and Seizure, VBSS. And at that time, when I was teaching that, Naval Special Warfare, I may get this wrong now, had done close to 5,000 shipboarding operations where they would stop the ship and board them wherever, the Arabian Gulf, all Persian Gulf, everything, and board that ship and search it. And there were only 2 out of that 5,000, I forget the number, I may be getting this wrong, that were hostile. One was the Achille Lauro. And the Navy said, and SEAL team said, we're just wasting our time. You guys got us running around jumping on board all these ships. Why don't you train some guys on destroyers and other ships? Every ship should have a security force like that. And they did. And they would put these guys through, and they would get all this really cool gear, and they would give them AR-15s and helmets and bat phones and all kinds of shit so that the regular Navy could take over that job. And they did. And a lot of those guys lose their mind, and they use those pictures. And he had one. I could tell he was part of that team, had another guy with him. And, well, here's the proof right here. There's my AR-15 right there and all my shit. And I'm getting spun up.
Donko, it does seem like that there's just so much lying and stuff goes on. Somebody wanted to know if we would start traveling again to bust them in person. No. We stopped doing it when Don got that blood clot. I just don't want to anymore. We were spending a lot of money on planes and hotel rooms, and we would have to take somebody to film for us, and we were paying them big money and buying them plane tickets and hotel rooms and stuff too. But it's I'll be honest, it's depressing, you know.
We had fun.
We did have fun, but to see, it affects me differently than it affects Don. We did have a good time sometimes, but when you hear about somebody lying on the internet or on the phone or something, that's one thing. But to just do it over and over, and we were doing it a lot to someone that looks just like my daddy or my granddaddy, standing right in front of us, looking us in the eyes and just telling us bald-faced lies. I don't know, just stand there and look at him like, how in the hell, you know who he is, you know who we are, how can you just stand there and lie? And they all did it. They all did it over and over and over.
That's why, right there.
And it's depressing.
They were on the pipe taking a reefer.
Taking the reefer.
They were.
They were on a bad trip. They never came down.
That's right. The time the idiot lawyer, that was worth it right there. So Terry's Wave was a boarding officer. Marines aren't typically assigned to any small ships like that. They put them on carriers. When they're on board ship, they are called ship's company. The Marines on ship's company, and some of that is pretty thankless jobs on the amphibious type of ships. They have a complement of a few officers and some enlisted Marines that are part of ship's company, and they just want to kill themselves being on there. And then they embark Marines, and they all feel sad that they're not one of the embarked Marines. They're ship's company, you know. And they do a good job.
we don't know what happened to the big guy in New Orleans, but when we ended up going to the Harley dealership, there were some big boys in there. And I'll tell you right now, Harley Davidson ain't no joke. That place was spotless, clean, run like a well-oiled machine. The businessmen in there, you know, and a nice place. I love Harley Davidson. But anyway, he got fired after that. We know that. And I have no idea what happened to him, but that was very humbling for that big son of a bitch when we walked through that Harley dealership. He had no idea what was coming.
His buddy's shit. Because we got so angry. We went outside, and guys were asking us, what the hell's going on in there? It was like, he's a phony. He's never a SEAL. And they were like, he's never been a SEAL. Him. It was all that. But what I left out of the... because there's when you get your ass handed to you, there's really no reason to rub salt in the wound. But he'd been convicted twice of rape. He got dishonorably discharged from the Navy for rape. And then he did it again in Tennessee. And that's the guy that's standing on the street corner with a big trident tattoo.
Hollering, check me out, check me out.
Check me out. He's a convicted rapist. And we just had that, what the hell was that asshole? Terrible criminal. I'll think of it. I got more phonies swimming around in my head than I know what to do with. Shit, that's what it is. And I need to announce this. I'm going to start attacking charities. I have had enough of these people that not only take advantage of it, people that are doing them to take advantage of others. And this guy writes me. It was very flattering. I shared it with Diane. The guy was a horribly hopeless, homeless alcoholic, and on his last leg and living in a shelter, and started watching my videos from this homeless shelter somehow, and said that you shamed me into stop lying to people about my alcoholism and what I was doing. And he watching my phony SEAL videos, it was so flattering, this guy. And he said this homeless shelter in Salt Lake City has a veterans ward where they do not check you at all. You tell them you're a veteran, you're going in the veterans ward, and the guy that is running that section of the ward is an Army Ranger under Oliver North that was running black operations with a Contra, and he's a convicted child molester. He's a sexual deviant, and he is a melon-headed son of a bitch, and it just drove me insane when I read that. Very flattering that that guy is off of that and on to another start. And so we're connecting up. I've had enough. It just brings a black eye to everybody. We try to do a good job down here. These charities, and who was it recently? I don't know how many. We got on a roll about Eddie Gallagher and that guy doing that, saying that Gallagher needs to stay where he is. And my response back to the guy that sent that phony to me was, you know how many fake charities are out there for Eddie Gallagher? Every hurricane, every Katrina, and they play to the heartstrings of these veterans. And they just rip people off. And I've gone after a number of them, that Mike Harville guy, but I'm about to start sinking my teeth into another line of work here. It's hard getting any more phony SEALs, so I might as well start going after charities. Like I don't have enough problems.
No, I'm not sick. I drink lemon water all day. All day long. I drink lemon water all day. I love it. And Robin, you ask about wounded warriors. I know, number one, I don't know anything about wounded warriors. I don't know anybody that's involved in the headshed of that. But when you get something as big as Wounded Warriors, and you have to have employees, you have to have a whole lot of people behind the scenes doing some stuff. I know there was some controversy about something going on with that, but I know a lot of veterans that have been that have done things with wounded warriors, that they think the world of that organization. Don and I were going through an airport in some state busting phonies, and there was a table of amputees there, missing legs, missing arms and stuff, and they were part of the wounded warriors. We picked up their tab for them. We posed with pictures. I don't know. All I know is hearsay too, but when I talk to real veterans that have been involved with that charity, they have nothing but good things to say. That's all I know.
Like wounded warriors got caught up in a bookkeeping mistake. And I think that's all that was. And it is so, they make things, that's where me and Diane stay under the 50,000 thing, because we don't even want to go there. People ask us about let's do a fundraiser. We don't need it. This place don't take that much to operate, and we can get dudes down. But when you get into the wounded warriors, I'll give you a class. I was a paramedic in the city of Virginia Beach, the largest all-volunteer rescue squad in the nation. And every paramedic and every EMT that worked there was all volunteers. The only people that were paid were people on staff, dispatchers, administrative people, and you have to have that. And Wounded Warriors has to have that too. You can't expect people to work, volunteer all their time for nothing. So you have to have paid people on your staff. No, we don't. But I think that's where some of the bookkeeping, and when they start breaking down the numbers of where this money is going to. But the bad thing about what happened with Wounded Warriors, when they came out and they started crunching these numbers over that mistake, is a lot of other good charities went, oh my God, we don't want that to happen to us. And they started throwing money out the door to these guys as fast as they could. And in so many cases, they were throwing it out to people who didn't rate it. And that's where it started coming back to me, and I just go hand over fist. That guy was never a SEAL, and you're giving him concert tickets, and you're flying him on these trips, and you're taking him fly fishing. You know, why aren't you guys checking this stuff? And it becomes big business, and that's where me and Diane aren't going in. We don't want a job. We like what we're doing, like getting the guys down, and we don't need anybody to help us do that. That's how. When you get into the bigger things like Wounded Warrior or Virginia Beach Volunteer Rescue Squad, you're into a big something, and shit happens. So I think they're a great organization. I think they made a mistake on the bookkeeping, and somebody lit them up. And they're never going to do that again. I don't know.
Oh yeah, after 9/11, a lot of charities did it. They're still doing it. Believe it or not, not only are there phony SEALs, there are phony SEAL widows. There are women out there that claims that they are a Gold Star widow, and people raise money for them to get them houses, to pay for their children to go to school, and they were never even married to a veteran. So it just gets old after a while. It gets really old. They just keep on coming, like the mail and the postman.
I will go back a little bit on the Wounded Warriors. I think they're wonderful. But when that happened to them, they are one of the ones I'm talking about throwing out money as fast as they can to show that they are doing this for the veterans. And one of the worst ones is getting these concert tickets. He gets these concert tickets. He was never I've done a video about him. I'm going to figure out which one. I did a video. I exposed him as being a fake. They give him concert tickets when he asks for them, and he sells them online. And when you contact Wounded Warrior, you go ahead and try to expose a fake to Wounded Warrior and see how far you get. They are about as frustrating as the VA. to tell them that dude never served in Vietnam and you're paying him for Agent Orange or this Gulf War illness when I show he was never even near the Persian Gulf. Try to get them to listen to you. And that's why I said you want to fix the VA, and everybody bitches about the VA. You want to fix the VA? Hire another 1,000 VA investigators and let them go up the asses of all these guys that are claiming that stuff. That'll fix the VA real quick. There'll be plenty of money and plenty of time for everybody that's deserving. So that's the only kind of bad thing I have to say. I run into brick walls with the VA, and I ran into them with Wounded Warrior. There's just nobody going to listen. They're too fucking big.
I'm just reading.
What's everybody saying?
I don't know. I can't see because I don't got my glasses on.
Go ahead.
And when I put them on, it just makes a big reflection.
We're into this gold star thing too. There's no people that aren't taken. We've had a personal big issue with a house being donated recently through that to somebody we don't. You could have picked about 10,000 other deserving people to give that house to, but she's always we haven't. That's where I'm going now.
I am not high on no puff cream.
She is.
Leave me alone. God.
She's,
Let's just sniff it.
she likes that, I know I'm a trophy
I
husband.
can't get it open. Oh yeah, you're a huge trophy
And
husband.
a lot of you guys are trophy husbands out there. The thing that drives me crazy is her wanting me to smell shit. I don't like smelling stuff.
And we walk through.
Always holding
It's a
candles
woman
up.
thing. I smell that. That's you just smell stuff.
You're not. It's like drinking out of a straw. You're not supposed to be smelling stuff in a store. And I don't like doing it anyhow. I don't want to smell that raspberry candle.
And you'll get out a damn carton of milk out of the refrigerator and smell it and go, ooh, and then say, hey, smell this. You do it all the time.
Well, I can't tell if it's
You
good
want
or
me
not.
to smell it? Is that shit? Is that really dog shit? Smell it and see if it's dog shit. That's what you say.
It's the only way to tell. The cat's going back and forth through here. Look, open that door for that.
Cat's
Oh,
got a
she can't-
shit.
She can't go. The other door isn't open. I think it's about time. Anyhow.
Come on, kitty.
Yeah, these phonies, man. Don't even get me started. Oh my God, it does something to you. Just so. I wish I could just run a phony prison. Whenever we exposed a phony, you would just send them to me, and I could put them. I would be the judge, jury, and executioner, and that would cut down a lot of this stuff. But it really starts deflating you when warrant officers and chief petty officers. Not a lot of officers do that shit. I will tell you this about officers. Rarely do we come across an officer that is embellishing his career. But when it happens, they go big. They're all admirals. They're all decorated. But rarely it's an enlisted problem. Like, we don't have enough problems being enlisted guys already. But, no, rarely, I got to think, 99% of it is enlisted. Very few officers. Very few. But they are classic. They are classic. And
You didn't show him that cool little gun that I like with that brown handle.
Oh, that's my...
I love that gun.
Boy, I hit you with this doggone thing. I am so good with this. It's a little 22 Ruger, whatever.
That's what I'm going to name my next dog, Luger. That's a good dog name.
If there's another dog shows up on this property, he's getting one of these. I used to bring home every stray dog I could find. We lived out in that big-ass farm thing, and people would just dump the dogs off, I guess, because we didn't have anybody even near us. And I remember coming home with another dog one day, and we were coming up the driveway on this big farm that I lived on, and I saw my dad's bedroom window slide open, and he stuck a revolver out of that window and started shooting that thing. Boom, boom, boom. That dog, he was gone. Damn.
No, we've decided
stray
against
dog.
the other dog. I think it was something about having Sniper here. You know, we just love that puppy, and you know how you get when you lose a puppy, you have the inclination to got to get a puppy, and I think a lot of it is just Warrior. You know, he's so huge, and I sort of got on that roll about wanting a dog for him, and I still do, but we have a lot of stuff coming up, and we don't need anything else right now, so we're just going to hold off on a puppy.
Where do we draw the line here?
We don't ever, because we are old, and we love everything, and we have got 80 acres surrounded by water, and we need to love as many things as we can love while we're still here.
You're going to see a TV show about her.
Be hoarding.
Yeah.
I'd take in every cat and dog I could find. I sure would.
I remember the town I grew up in had this one grocery store, and the owner of that grocery store was like a little Kroger or something. I mean, it wasn't even a grocery store. And this old woman would carry this crate, and the owner of that store would make her stay outside because that's how bad she smelled. Stay outside and sit on that crate, and he would fill her order and then take her back to her house and drop her off with these groceries. The amount of dogs that she had and slept with was just her. Just a widow, and she lived with this enormous amount of dogs, and she stunk. And one day they came to remove her from that house, remove the dogs. And she, at an upstairs bedroom window, started throwing shit at the cops, locking everything down in that house. And there was so much outrage in that town that they stopped and they let that go. Okay, stay there, do your thing. And don't, that's going to be you.
Not big.
Good
night, guys.
I'll take you out of here. Is there anything else? Okay.
We ain't got shit to watch now. I'm so bummed about The Walking Dead.
We'll just roll through Jussie Smollett videos and.
So we have found a new recipe. Don smoked 2 ducks, and it is duck meatballs. And last year or something for Christmas, I got him a meat grinder. We were going to make our own sausage and hamburger meat and stuff. So tomorrow we're going to try our best to make some German duck meatballs. We'll see how it turns out.
There you go.
Good night, everybody.
No, the dogs didn't eat her. And that's where the term 3-dog night comes from. Guys, people used to sleep with the dogs. That's what it took. How cold the night was. It's a 3-dog night. Let's get 3 dogs to sleep in here. And I mean, that's what she did. She didn't have, it was a shack she lived in with all these dogs, and it's just this remote piece of property, and would just go get dog food and just stunk and never bathed. And she's been doing it for decades. She's an old widow, an old spinster, whatever the hell. But,
we're about as bad. I got a
those dogs, 3-dog night.
I got a vintage looking couch for my girl room, and so I had a nice gray couch, and I didn't want to just throw it away or give it away because it was in great shape. So we decided, since summer's coming up, tick, flea season, we moved that couch into our bedroom. And so I put a sheet down, and I got Warrior up there and laid him down. We're like, okay, we'll kick the dogs out of bed, and they can sleep on this couch. Warrior gets on the couch. And when we got in bed, bloop, he came. We are so packed in that bed with all them dogs and cats, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I just love them.
No. What do you think? You want to go smoke a doobie?
Let's smoke a doobie and have our bubble bath night. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good one. Thanks. See you, Bosun. Long range. Him and Mick. Japan and Australia.
Yep.
They had to get together. You ever come back to the States and you don't say hello to me? The next time I'm going to show the picture to you that I have from the Lockwood of you sleeping in your rack on that Lockwood, laid over on one side wearing your underwear. I have it right there. Anybody pays me, I'll show the picture of the Bosun the next
Big
time.
fatty.
Yeah. Fatty.
Don Don's favorite T-shirt. We're never going to get off here. Don's favorite T-shirt he had. It was a little girl that sort of looked like Mary Had a Little Lamb, and a little boy. And what was it said?
It was the old books that you had in school.
Yeah, like Run, Spot, Run, like that kind of book.
A little boy wearing shorts and little white socks and little shoes. You know, they weren't these pictures. A little boy and a little girl with their little pigtails, and they were smoking a joint, and it said, Johnny likes skinny girls, but he'll never turn down a fatty.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I had that shirt. Oh, man. That and my Bert and Ernie T-shirt.
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie had AR-15s, and it said, there's another one, Bert. And it said, consider him dead, Ernie.
I gotta go. Bye.
Good night, fellas. Thanks for, and gals. I'll see y'all. If I can get this doggone thing to stop. I got to put all these pistols up.